All right, Kenman here, and it's Kubey Tityus time. If you saw in the last video, we opened this bad boy up. It's got some white G10 scales. Let's take a good look, because it is not gonna look like this ever again. A nice beefy, fun. Got a nice flick to it. And by the magic of special effects, we are in the kitchen. Let's go. Okay, it's dye time. Today's the Kubey. Let's get straight to it. These are the ones we haven't done. These are the ones we've already done. Oh, look at how this CJRB feldspar turned out. Are you kidding me? I love it. I love it. Oh. Fantastic. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to look at stuff later. We can look while the dye does the work. Get these up here. All right. First things first, let's loosen. Oh, yeah, those. So it looks like the pocket clip is T6. I'm going to put those over for safekeeping, and everything else is T8, which is cool. And it has a captive pivot, so we only have the one side to deal with. All right, that is almost out. Let's do this screw here. And in the other videos, I try to be extra cautious when I take it apart. Don't let it just go flying, so that it's a little bit easier on reassembly. But kind of getting the hang of just being patient when you take it apart. We're going to push this through. All right, so this is the top scale. Frame is still intact. I'm going to try to pinch the frame and hold it while I push this out. Now that that is out, on the other side, carefully flip it over. And then, boom. Now we're pretty much back how we were. I can kind of set that in there just to hold it. We have the scales. I am going to move my drivers over. I'm going to take this whole thing, pull it this way a little bit, trying to keep that together. Okay, we have our white scales. We have some dye. I am about to do a shift across. Nice smooth transition. I'm kind of going to look right now. Look like one of them had a little dirty kind of spot on it. Make sure everything is fairly clean. Yeah, there's a little right there. I don't know what that's from, but that's kind of, it's there. We'll see how dark they get and how much it changes. So I have these little hooks I made out of wire. I'm going to pinch it shut. Couldn't see that as well the last time. I was a little off camera. These are just going to be so it's easier to dip it into the dye and retrieve it later, because we need to let it sit in there. Ooh, that looks like it's simmering pretty good. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Hot is good. The hotter the dye is, basically the faster it activates and does its work. If you did a cold dye, which I've done, you can get it to float on like shaving cream and let it sit for a day. But you have to let it sit for quite a long time, versus in this, it's only a few minutes and we're going to get some results. All right, I am going to shift this just a little bit more so we can see. Don't get dizzy on me, I'm sorry. And in we go. Like I've said on the other ones, you want to try to get a good splash around. Make sure there aren't any spots that you have air bubbles. Air bubbles are going to create an area where you're not getting dye, which is going to cause a non-uniform look. Wow, look at these. Are already holding color. Kind of brown. So I'm splashing them around, just kind of making sure. All right, I'm going to switch to just one at a time just to get a good solid coat on the top. Make sure there isn't any weird chunks of dye. The dye is like a powder and you dissolve it in water, so it's reusable. But sometimes you get little chunks, and those little chunks could make a significantly darker spot. All right, just seeing the little holes on the side. Thought I saw, you know, like when you feel like there's a bug or you see a spider and all of a sudden there's spiders everywhere. It feels it all over your body. Okay, we are in, we are dipping, we are making that handle red. Let's shift back over here. All right, this is basically stable. How are we gonna do this? I knocked it all over last time, kind of made a mess. I found everything. I need to get some more towels. But we're going to just lay this right over the top with that ugly stains and stuff. All right, let's look at the stuff. We got the CJRB feldspar. We are at 6 minutes when we were about in. So we're kind of going to watch the time, see how it goes. This is the Zhangsheng chef's knife, the flickable chef's knife. How rad is that? Little Civivi Ferrum Forge Odium. Ferrum Forge Gent 2.0. These are the knives that we have dyed so far. Blues are kind of similar, kind of I see on camera, but the reality is this is a lot darker. I love it. I really am happy with how the feldspar turned out with that gold accent on there. The gold, the blue, and the silver. It just, loving it. Loving it. I may make this a little darker. I'm not sure. But it's going. All right, since we haven't done red and white scales, I am going to literally go back right now and sneak a peek. Now it's going to be thicker on there than it's going to actually be. Whoa. This is working very fast. I think we might even just do a rinse already just to, wow. Okay. Getting excitable and a little nervous. The yellow, I think, is going to go faster. So maybe the red will as well. We're just going to do it. Probably can go back in, but this is just a little, why not? So what I'm doing is now I'm rinsing them in water. And my hands are in the way again. What's that is doing is that's removing all the dye from the surface, therefore stopping the change. If you were to pull it out and just let it sit, there could be little areas of dye sitting in spots that are going to cause it to not be uniform in color. And if you get them in water like this and get a quick rinse, kind of helps guarantee keeping a little bit more of a uniform color on their surface there. So I'm trying to just get off any remaining little areas of dye. Wow, these are red. They're actually dark. I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this so you can also see. But I'm surprised. Oh, that's interesting. Kind of got a fade up at the top here. All right. Wow. Interesting. Let's move this here. I'm going to remember I have the rest of the knife underneath there. I don't want that to get all wet. That was over there. So I'm going to try to keep here. And I'm going to go back. Look at this already. I'm going to dry my hands off so I can zoom in. But these, oh, wow. Red is a bleeder. So I'm using a paper towel right now for a wipe. Just in case. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to ruin the towel. I mean, these towels are already stained, but just, you know, prolong the inevitable replacement of them. Holy cow. What was that? Timer. 2 minutes? Barely? That is dark. That is darker than I was expecting. Looks almost brown on camera in a way. I do not think I'm going to put them back in. Very interesting. Again, this is a test. This is what it's all about. I don't know if you can see that. It fades a little. It's a little lighter here. So that's a case where you could kind of splash it in there. Try to get it to react a little more, but that's probably not something we should do. I'm just rinsing it off camera here now. I'm sorry I don't have the rinse right there next to it. I'm back. Alright. Well, what's everyone think? I didn't even really have a chance to start talking about stuff. We barely looked at the ones that we've already done. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit here. Wow. Well, a lot of the videos were 30-some minutes, 28 minutes, whatever, close to 30 minutes. Try not to make them too long. I could edit them. I don't know, I kind of like not editing them just for the fact of not to be lazy, but just to leave it raw, leave it the actual, here's the whole process. You get everything. You see every little detail. You see me fidgeting when I'm trying to put it back together, and all of it in between. And that's what I kind of like to do. Maybe there'll be cases where I'll do some editing if I need to or whatever, but sometimes I just like to do it raw. I'd like to do some stuff live, maybe one day. But without people to be live with, kind of senseless. But I'm having fun making these videos, and doing these dies is actually great. I was an artist, or I'm an artist. And so being creative and doing things like this is fun. What we're doing right now is we're trying to make sure these are totally dry before we try to reassemble. Any moisture on there could get towards the pivot or that part of the frame and then cause it to, I don't know, potentially react or rust or whatever it may be. Maybe I'm a little over cautious, but I would definitely recommend totally trying to make sure these are completely dry. Look at this. Kind of has a little brownish tint to it. I'm going to turn my heat off. I forgot to do that. I'm still running heat on the stove. Shimmy us over a little bit here. What is everyone thinking? Are we having fun? Okay, so the Civivi Vision FG. I can fail it. I swear. I'm watching myself on camera. I'm not looking at myself. I think that has something to do with it. This has white scales. One of the reasons I got this other one with the white G10 scales is just to do a test for this. I would like to do this in red, although maybe a lighter. Maybe don't leave it in as long. What do you think of the color scheme? I did kind of want it to be a blood red sort of for this, but it's almost kind of a brownish. Camera kind of doesn't always work with colors. Here's the CJRB Gobi. We've got that little piece right there with the accents. What color do we do this in? It'll be coming up soon. I've got my Sencut Crowley. See how you can see through the frame. You can't see through this side. I wonder if it looks like it's cut on both sides. It just seems like you can see through better on that side, but I kind of wanted to do something more translucent. You can see the inner workings of it right there, and try to help accent that a little bit more. But yeah, what else? Well, you got the Civivi Mini Asticus with the Domesticus Asticus. What color we want to do that one? Yeah, those are the ones that we need to do, and I've got another couple coming in the mail, surprisingly, and it's gonna keep going from here. So here is what I am gonna do. We're gonna take my own nice little chunk here, and I'm going to transfer Transfer all this stuff. I set it down over there. You almost can't see it, but I want to pick this up as a unit. Bring it over to this flat surface. Get us all prepped for the rebuild here. Okay. How are we doing today? Is everybody enjoying these scale die videos as much as I am? Because I know I'm definitely enjoying it quite a bit. Okay, slide. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this out. I'm going to try to slide this on there. So this is the side that I'm putting the clip on. So that means I only need to do this screw here for now. Try to get that started. Okay, I'm going to try to line up parts. And this is going to drop. Wait. This one has the, there it is right there. You see that little dent? There is a spot for it. If I can get everything lined up and drop it through. I apologize. This is my quiet time on the video. There it is. I'm going to flip that over. Try to get that the rest of the way. Boom. Everybody hear that? That was it. That was it. We are doing okay. Let's get this on there. Get that started. What I like to do when I reassemble, because you have to redo the centering of the blade when you put it back together. So I kind of like to tighten the pivot down before I do all the frame or the scale to the frame. I like to do the pivot first. Let's see, let's get this closed. And then I'm going to tighten that down. Because you have to pay attention for the centering of the blade, like I was saying. And if you do it wrong, your blade won't be centered. It'll be a little off. And then you have to readjust. So now I got that about tight. I'm going to bring the scale pieces down. Now, I wonder if I need to switch. Because that one of the ones, that one there was a T8, but both of them on the clip were T6. So I don't know if this screw is going to fit in that hole or if I need to swap it. They're probably the same size, but just not, yeah, it looks like it's the same size. Isn't that interesting? If it is the same size and you put a T8 on this side here, why not just do all T8s? T8 you can tighten down better. You don't have to worry as much when you're doing it that you're going to torque that thread versus those T6s here. They are okay. I like to do one then the other and go back and just make sure it's good and tight without doing it so much you're going to strip it. All right, the clip is on. Let's go ahead and make sure all the ones on the frame or the scales to the frame are tight. Looks like our centering is pretty close. All right, see that? Centered. All right, just under 20 minutes. Signed, sealed, delivered. Here we are. The Kubey Tityus officially transitioned. If you want to go back, this is how I was holding it at the beginning. Had the clip on the other side, but I am a lefty, so that's what you get. What does everyone think? Success? Darker than I was envisioning, but lighting, it's also could be brighter in here. See, it does look a little bit more red there than it does here. I'm getting a little bit of a shadow. The way I got my lighting set up in the kitchen is a little different. Kind of felt a little different when I closed it, but I feel like it closes a little easier now. Maybe I could tighten it up. Let's check the blade play. Nope. That thing is solid. It looks good. That went together well. I like the design of it. Was easy to do. As far as the tear down and reassembly of it. And yeah, what does everyone think? Give a little shot that way. A little shot this way. Let's bring them in. Okay, most recent. Done. One right before that. And the one before that. Ooh, now we're getting some colors, huh? Look at this. Okay, I am having a blast. I hope everyone is too. I am going to keep rolling. Like I said, I did order a couple more that I'm going to be doing some unboxings for pretty soon. So pay attention for that. Am I going to be able to get these all to fit? What happens if I get more? Huh. Woo! And one more chance. Get to the lefty. If I put that right there, I could probably. Voila! That in focus? All right. I am digging it, huh? This is a great time. I'm really getting a good feeling doing some kind of artistic kind of stuff here with my other hobby of pocket knives. And this dye stuff is going great. I'm having a good time. Wow, that looks pretty cool. I mean, it was really cool stormtroopered out with the black and white, but I am happy with the results. Like I said, I do still kind of notice a little bit of fade. I think it was because when I was dipping it, maybe I just didn't get enough here right away, and this red, as we saw, took all of 2 or 3 minutes to be complete. So that is definitely something to make note of. Every time we do this, I kind of can go back and check and see like how hot I'm running it. Will give you an approximate time for what you're going to get. But the white definitely is different than the jade. So it's going to take that color more true to what it actually is. So the Civivi is going to be fun. It'll be coming up soon as well as the others and the other unboxings. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I'm buying stuff when I'm having a good time. And I'm going to keep doing it because it's been a hobby of mine for a really long time. And then transitioning it into my art outlet, it's become really exciting. But yeah, let me know if there's any colors you want for those other ones that you want to see. Tell me if you like the things that I've been doing, what I could do to improve on it, what you think of this Kubey with the new red handle, and yeah, we'll go from there. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp, and we'll see you next time.